Welcome to my channel, guys. So, as you can tell by the title, I am not particularly excited to do this, but I must do this. Why? Because one, I gotta learn. Two, I do want to say something. If this is really your thing, don't let me discourage you. Don't let, I want to say, anybody else discourage you. If this is something you firmly believe in, you go for it. You know, I always tell everyone, you do you. Which brings me to the topic and to the first day of astrology. Now, I don't like this at all. I personally I don't know. It kind of bugs me. But the reason it bugs me is more due to the fact that people, I want to say, take things a little too far with this. They determine life decisions based on this. That's the part that drives me a little insane. Overall, though, I do want to say it is a fun concept. Like, honestly, it would be something I would have been into, but I'm not. So it is finally time. We get to the start, and now we are starting on Aries. I don't know if you can see from the book or whatever I'm covering, but this book, written by Coral Taylor, gotta give credit where credit is due. And it says astrology using the wisdom of the stars in your everyday life. Now, this is basically her interpretation, but this is no way to bash her whatsoever. I do want to say, this is, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be rough for me. So on this episode, or I guess this month, we're only gonna be talking about Aries and how everything, I want to say, spirals around Aries this month, or this through the 21st till the 20th. And we're in 2024 as I'm saying this, by the way. So let's just get into it. So as the it kind of already gets me because I saw one word, but we'll get to one word. But anyway, as the first sign of the zodiac, Aries is strong and vital, reflecting the vigor of its totem. Let me restart that again. Sorry. As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries is strong and vital, reflecting the vigor of its totem animal, the ram, which you guys just saw. And I'm gonna be honest, it looks awesome. The designer, it actually looks pretty good. Positive cardinal fire is extroverted, initiatory, and ardent, focusing his energies to get things going. Aries needs action. Initiatory, my bad. But that basically means beginning, which is basically the first sign, so it is the beginning. And that's why I chose to do everything today. And then it is the symbol of a V, which I'm going to turn the book around. So that's its main symbol. That way everybody who doesn't know anything about astrology can actually go and research. I am mostly just interested in how people see everything. But we're going to get into a lot deeper because we're going to go through this whole book little by little. Mode. I don't know what mode means at all. I think I don't know what that is at all. No, I'm not even going to try to guess. But it says cardinal. I'm pretty sure it did say something about that in the back. The reason I didn't start with any of these is mostly because I want to literally go from a fresh start through the first sign. So I'm going to go back in different episodes just to, get a more clarification. But I did want to start today mostly because today is the first day of the whole cycle. Anyways, element is fire. Ruling planet Mars. Everything red, basically. So far, I like it. Parts of the body. Head and adrenal glands. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay, the sun in Aries. This is where I get frustrated, but we'll read it anyway. So, Your life purpose is to pioneer and lead the way, breaking new ground for others to follow. Don't tell me what to do. As a courageous and conquering hero, you search for challenges through which to prove yourself. I feel like that's not just Aries, though. I'm pretty sure so many other people feel that way. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to be saying, but your sun and moon have to be in this spot and stuff. I don't know what that means yet. We're eventually going to get into that. Like I said, we're literally just starting out like blank first. Like this is where I guess an average person would start. But honestly, your life purpose to pioneer and lead the way, I feel, let's see. Obviously, you can interpret that in many, many different ways. A lot of people think that it's supposed to lead like a team or their family or themselves. You know, you can basically take that sentence and do whatever you wish with it. Breaking new ground for others to follow, right? I feel like there's a little bit of that in everyone. I feel like as a species, we want to do our best so the following or the next generation can actually do their best and continue with humanity. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And then as a courageous hero, I don't know. It depends. Some people really don't want to be the hero. Some people literally want to just stay in the back. And this is between the 21st and the 20th. So March and April. Now for the planets in Aries. So I need to see the planets. I need to see what that has an effect or whatever. I don't know. Planets here will act spontaneously. With daring, you like to take the initiative in whatever aspect of your life these planets represent. So it really depends on where the planet's at, I guess, in its orbit or elliptical orbit. Yeah, depending on what it is. I do understand that people have different like feelings or different, I guess, ways of describing energy. Like there's the scientific version of energy, and then there's, I guess, spiritual energy, the way this is like claiming, which I have no idea what that is supposed to be, but it is. But I do know that like you do like your mood does change depending on how you look up at the sky, at the stars. So I guess that's one way to interpret it, depending, like, let's just say Jupiter's like right over here, Saturn's slightly over there, and you just see, I don't know, something different in the sky, like your own, I guess, description of the stars. The stars tell stories, like just like in Shrek. Aries on the cusp of a house. What is a house? I'll find that out later. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe my opinion might change after going through everything, but we'll see. This is an area of life where you are competitive and self-motivated, willing to take the risk and step into the unknown. Once again, I feel like multiple people feel this way. Like, for example, if you've been lazy for a couple, like, I don't know, like months or something, or you got laid off work or something, and then now you feel more self-motivated after a depressing time. Or for some reason, like, hey, I am self-motivated and I'm willing to do all my schoolwork, get everything done all at once. Or even something small, like I am going to go ahead and do a whole bunch of chores and try to be an adult, you know? And not just that, like, it says like competitive and self-motivated, and then willing to take the risk. I feel like that's still a lot of people. Like it's not just Aries. So, well, I think I'm reading a little too much into this, I guess. I don't know. Regardless, I'm just gonna say what I think. Starting out, Aries is the herald of spring in the northern hemisphere. Yes, this is true. Sorry. I had something, I don't know. Anyway. although this is true, I want to say it's also at the same time it's not true, because you know how like the stars are so distant that they could technically be moving. So Aries is not even Aries at the moment. Like it could be distance apart and like completely mixed with other things, or the shape of it could be completely wrong. We're just seeing it from that distance within the light. Yeah. Your planets in this sign will express Aries' youthful zen and zest and energy. So, once again, I don't know what kind of energy they're talking about. I don't know what kind of spiritual energy is supposed to, feel. I just know that it affects like your mood and stuff. But that's vaguely around it. And now it's the warrior. The ruler of Aries is the warrior god Mars for Aries. It is of the utmost importance to compete and to win. So Aries is very competitive. Thing is that so am I. Like you like, for example, almost any athlete, any gamer, basically anybody like driven to win, any performing arts, you want to do your best and you want to like give it all. However, this is like particularly saying Aries is the most driven. I think Aries wants to win, like they need to win. In a sense, I want to say that this part I do feel, because our youngest brother is driven to like only win. And don't get me wrong, I am highly competitive as well. The issue with that is I can take a loss, or I can just lose and make somebody else happy. Thing is, once again, very, very, very vague. Only the brave. This sign enjoys risk. Your planets here will seek out danger as it meets of testing and proving their strength. Wait, what? Your planets will seek out danger. I think I need to know more about the planets before I judge the whole thing. Because right now, I'm just thinking about like the actual planets, and I feel like I'm not supposed to be thinking that way. I'm supposed to be thinking the energy of the planets, or I might supposed to be thinking that what the planets, I guess, mean, and I don't know what Mars means or anything. So I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Enterprise and initiative. No. Enterprise and initiative. If you have the sun or moon in Aries, you probably prefer to call the shots. Okay, so I slightly know what that means. So if I think that means is like if Aries is not your main sign, like if it's your sun or your moon rather than your actual sign, or it could be, I don't know. Then yeah, that's when you prefer to call the shots. That's not entirely all true whatsoever. But yeah, I'm just no. That one's just no. There's no. Competition and fighting. Where Aries falls in your chart, you show competitive spirit and hate to compromise or concede victory. See, so that's very interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys what's going on in my head versus what I guess my logical side is saying. So right now, they just created a great concept of a character. Somebody who's always willing to win, competitive, and if that's who you are, that's fine. But if you're born like, I don't know, let's just say September or something, I don't know what the sign is for September or something, but you still have this. I know people who still have this competitive passion, who are not born around these times. And yes, they say that you have a little bit of everything in you, and yeah, it's completely bullshit in my head. But that's the logical side. The more artistic side, I want to say, or imaginative side of me is really admiring how they created this ram into one character who's like always taking action. So I like this. Don't get me wrong. This is the part of astrology that I love and I do find interesting. But if you take this a little too seriously personally, I'm like, why? It's like a little bit of religion. It's if you can have a little bit, just don't go overboard. Don't try to convince others or expect others to have the same view. Impetuous. Planets here thrive on self-generated energy, but can act without thinking. So basically, you take action. So this ram is like, or I guess these people or whatever. I'm just gonna leave it as a ram as the character, you know. So do with that as you wish. But he's taking initiative, and he's just like a quick thinker. He's like he basically just goes out into the world and does everything with confidence, with pure confidence, not even overthinking things. That's what is like getting to me. And then decisive. Aries people, here's the thing. It has a clock next to it. There's a clock next to it, and 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's, I don't need that. It looks like it's around, I want to say 5 or 4-ish. It's not an exact clock, but yeah. But let's just say it's like, what, 4:30? But that's how much is like counted, I guess, with time. I don't know. But it has that clock. Anyways, Aries people are clear-headed and can think quickly in an emergency. So I don't know if that like doesn't count like all the firefighters or like any doctors. A lot of people think quickly. But I do think that this character is basically saying they are impulsive to that action. They will take note, like, oh, this person's hurt. Let me react to that real quick. Let me take that into consideration in my head, and boom, I know what to do. Or I'm going to try to do something. Or call 911 immediately, you know? They have that impulsive action. Going solo. With planets in Aries, you prefer to work alone. Personally, I do too, and I'm technically a Gemini, which is 2 signs out. We're going to spend a lot of time on that one. But anyway, for now, going solo, you prefer to work alone. Funny thing is, I know at least 3 people that do not, that were born around this time. Yeah, no, not always. Now, I get the whole sun and moon thing, but I don't understand that 100% yet, so we're going to stick with this for now. Anyway, childlike. The sign is candid and sometimes naive. As an Aries, you can be genuinely perplexed and intrigued and politics, or when things do not go according to your plan. Okay, so according to your plan. Okay, so you kind of get I guess a little like upset. It's basically saying, so literally like childlike, you're kind of getting, basically upset and annoyed. Yeah, genuinely perplexed and intrigued with politics. And I don't know, because most of the people I know don't really or try to stay away from politics nowadays. But at least see, the thing is, I'm trying to think of like people I know who are this sign, and I don't think I can do that, like personally, because like the friends that I know don't really get into astrology and aren't like this at all. But like the one that does is almost nothing like this, and I don't know. I feel like anybody can get childlike if nothing goes their way. I don't know. Urgency. You know what you want, and you want it now. Or better still, yesterday. This reminds me of that one comedian that says like prime now, prime now. I forgot his name. But no, he's funny. But I will say that that's not necessarily what I'm getting for Aries. from my logical standpoint, I want to say. Because there's a lot of people that I know, especially the people that I live with. Well, one person who wants everything done right away. Or for example, this could be like your parents saying like, we want it done now, or this should have been done. Or when you were a kid, why didn't you clean the house while we were gone, or something like that. So that's, I don't know, that one's kind of resonating with me a little bit, because not everybody has that urgency. Negative traits. The ram is sometimes prone to locking horns or acting like a battering ram. Well, no, duh. Aries gets the job done, but can create conflict. It just sounds like the war god, which it is. Don't get me wrong. Which we'll get into that a lot later, probably in like a year or two. But it's a Greek mythology, which I'm very looking forward to. But when it comes to the character in which this is describing, it honestly does feel like a person like you want. Personally, like you kind of want to lose. You want to see them like rage a little bit, and like try to fight, and like, but still like, you know, trying to be the leader, trying to like take initiative, take like over. But because the symbol or the polarity is positive, you see a very like kind person, not like well, I don't want to say that. Because although they're kind, they still have that like that fire. So I don't know. Think of an over excited anime character, I guess I would say. And lastly, Fast and Furious. People with planets in this sign take life by the horns, so they're like raging. Oh, I guess if you think about it, it kind of reminds you of Goku. He's just like always out for the warrior. He's trying to be like, well, never mind. More like Vegeta. Definitely more like Vegeta. I take that completely back. Yeah. He wants to be the best. He can't be the best. Or I don't think he's ever lost to Goku, though. Well, that is a conversation for another time. I don't want to get into that part. But, so, that is Aries. My whole thoughts on this, honestly, not bad so far. So far, this is just the first day of Aries, and like going forward, I am going to be describing more on the planets and I think the houses. I'm basically going to go over everything Aries this month. It's going to be actually not that much, but I know that there's a lot to process for, I guess, everyone who actually like believes in. They made Pluto. Sorry for that long pause. Sorry. They kind of got me there a little bit. So Pluto is no longer a planet. You know, it hasn't been for the past 20 years almost. But these guys still count Pluto as a planet. So astrology gets a huge, and Chiron or Chiron. This is the houses, yeah. So astrology already has a 1-up in science. I'm gonna say that much. You can come after me all you want, but in my eyes, Pluto is still a planet, and nothing will take that away. Logically, I know that it hasn't. What is it? There's 3 things that make a planet, if I remember, and then it hasn't cleared out its neighborhood. And there's one other thing. I think its moon. It's fighting Pluto, so they have this elliptical, or not elliptical. They don't have a center orbit. Like Pluto is going in a tiny circle around pushing and pulling against its own moon. So it doesn't have an actual center. And then on top of that, its whole orbit is weird. But still, it's Pluto. It's Pluto. So that's one thing astrology will always have on top of science, and no one will say otherwise. But we'll get into that in a different conversation. This is all about Aries today. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed all this, and we can go ahead and discuss more in the future, mostly about Aries this month. So till next time, and I'll see you guys then.